Okay, hello. I just recently watched a video of Paul Krugman, who's he's a liberal economist. He writes for New York Times. Debate Ron Paul. It's a very interesting debate. Post a link down below. But anyways, what I want to talk about, I don't want to talk about the merits of their argument because they both have some merit to it. Basically, Krugman believes you need more government spending. Ron Paul believes you need to scale back. He said he's going to cut the debt by $1 trillion in his first term. It was the first term or first year, I can't remember. Anyways, what I do want to talk about is a little bit about monetary policy. And so I'm not an expert on this. I took a couple classes and I'm going to give you my idea of it. Could be wrong, but that's what the internet's for. It's for debate. So basically, what's been going on, and a lot of reasons why people are upset over all these bank ballots, is because the Federal Reserve, which is independently run, right? People are appointed, but it's not official branch of the government, is because of all this money going towards banks for 0% interest. Now, banks have, my understanding, two ways of having capital. They do it through deposits, or they could, borrow money through treasury bills or whatever in the through the Federal Reserve. So what's happening now, and I think Bloomberg did a report on this, you have these banks who are getting free money, 0% interest rates, and they end up charging people like 3 or 4% interest on free money, right? So if you look at the student loans, right, student loans are set to double in the next year or whatever, from 3.8% to 6.5% or something like that. So this is making a lot of people upset, rightly so. They're getting free money. So what I want to talk about is a little bit about interest rates and the Federal Reserve and how it works, at least my understanding of how it works. So the way it's set up is that the Federal Reserve, what they'll do is they control certain levers, they have monetary tools to direct the economy to go in a given direction, either to contract or to expand. So there's two things they could do. They could infuse the economy with more money, or they set interest rates. Now, if they want to, let's say, have less money in the economy, what they'll do is they'll set the interest rates high, and that will make it become a deterrent for people to take out loans, to send money, to put out, infuse more liquidity, cash, into the economy. However, if they want less money in, what they'll do is they'll control the money supplies, the limit amount of money being printed, and this will cause interest rates to rise, and it will then there will be less dollars circulating in the economy. So it depends on what the nature is of the economy, what the Fed's policy is going to be, how it's going to dictate its policy. So one of the side effects, however, is if you allow a lot of capital into the market, it's going to cause inflation to take place, and that's going to be less purchasing power for the consumer, because if there's more dollars in the economy, the value of the dollar goes down. So that's something to think about. So that's a little basic information, I guess, and that's my understanding of how it works. You can correct me if I'm wrong, and then another thing I want to touch upon too, that's something interesting to look at, is the role that the Federal Reserve plays in the larger scheme of things. And people think that, the Federal Reserve is a branch of the government. However, the Federal Reserve in America in particular is independent, because the way it's set up, they don't want politicians being able to manipulate the monetary system to fit their political political outcomes, right? So something you might want to check out too is something called the Mundell trilemma theory, I think it's called. And basically what it says is that for like the economy to work properly, what you need is there's like three set factors that have to come together, or you need to have two of these factors working and one of them turn off. Like if you think of a light switch, you'll have two of them turn on and one turn off or whatever. So for example, so here's the factors. You need a fixed exchange, you need free capital mobility to move anywhere, and an independent monetary system. So there are some countries who do have a controlled monetary system and some that don't. So depending on how these three factors come together is going to be a major factor in how the monetary policy is relating to the direction of the economy.